Gentlemen, welcome to a brand new series on my channel simply called Samplin Samples, or Double S for short. This series came to me last time I went overseas. I like to do this when I'm on the plane going overseas. I like to brainstorm a little bit, see what I can add to the channel, to current stuff, and new ideas on my channel. This is one of them. I got a couple tucked under my sleeve here that I'm going to be introducing in the late part of March. And you guys stay tuned. I got a few goodies for you. Now this one, I've done this before on my channel. I believe I did a few videos on samples before that I brought overseas. I did like first takes and stuff like that. This is the same general idea, guys. This idea came to me because when I first started on YouTube in 2009, in 2009 I was blind buying niche fragrances, and it's not the same as designers, guys. When you start blind buying niche, you're going to get burned, and you're going to get burned hard, and you're going to learn your lesson pretty quickly. When you start blind buying fragrances that are $100 to $400 and you don't like them, you're going to start sampling, and that's a great tool. From like mid-New York to Lucky Scent, I get tons of samples, guys. I go overseas with maybe 20 to 50 samples, and my Facebook group knows this. Basically my scent a day every time overseas is basically from a little sample like this. Now this will give me 1 or 2 wearings. That's just enough for me to really dissect a fragrance. And this video is going to be basically that. I wanted to put the camera in front of me while I'm doing these fragrance samples of first takes type of thing. And this is going to be niche only, to be honest with you guys. I like my channel to be balanced between my designer heads and my niche heads. You know, I want to give love to both of y'all because I love you both. But I believe my niche heads are kind of getting ignored in the past few years, and I'm going to try to balance it out a little bit. And I think this is a great tool. For my designer heads out there, to be honest, I don't test out designer fragrances. If I'm interested in it, I'm going to blind buy it. You know, if it's a bad buy, hey, it's going to make it an interesting review. Niche, not so much. So I've been learning my lesson. These videos are going to be great because I can't tackle everything all the time. This is my journey because I check out a sample. Either A, I'm going to be like, this is buy worthy. Right off that sample, I'm going to be like, I'm buying a bottle. Or B, it's going to be, you know what, I need another sample of this, test it out a little bit more. Or C, it's just, the stuff is disgusting and it's not worth it. And to be honest, guys, on YouTube, when most of YouTubers, including myself, if you're going to buy a niche bottle and going to do a niche review on YouTube, it's most likely going to be a positive review if you have the bottle. We're kind of lacking on the journey itself because there's a lot of snoozers out there. You know, I'm checking out fragrances here and there. And I'm going to let you guys know with these Samplin Samples videos, you're going to see the good with the bad. You're going to see me excited about a fragrance, and you're going to see that bottle maybe in a year or a couple months later that I purchased it because I got excited about the sample. Or you're going to see, hey, this is a snoozer, and you're never going to see this bottle purchased from me. So I think this is going to be an interesting idea. So guys, my first one, I decided to go with a fragrance from Labo. I've been recently a little more interested in the Labo line the past few years. I've purchased a few more. After Rose 31, I got Bergamot 22, another 13. I'm interested in Poivre 23 and a few more. Now Labo has a fragrance that's going to be discontinued this month, and that's why I'm introducing this video series with this one, because maybe some people are interested in it. Usually when fragrances get discontinued, people start noticing the fragrance. Lucky Scent has this available until the end of March. And I got a sample from them. I actually tested this out a few times just to see if it's going to be bottle worthy. So let's get to it. This is Labo's Aldehyde 44. Now I'm not going to show you guys the sample. This is totally useless. Let's delve into Samplin Sample, the series. Let's start it off. Now this series is just going to include, you know, a little backstory, pricing perhaps, my impressions of the fragrance, the staying power, a little bit of stats here, and of course my final take on the fragrance. That's it. So on Labo's Aldehyde 44, now this is a discontinued fragrance. It's going to be discontinued March 31st, 2013. It is one of those city exclusives from Labo. It's a Dallas exclusive scent. It was only carried in the Barney's in Dallas, a partner of Labo. They're actually closing that store. I think it's actually closed now. But it is still available online for a short period of time, of course, till March 31st. So if you do buy a bottle of it in the next coming month, You will be able to refill it in the future at any Labo store. So that's the great thing about this, and that's why some people are very interested in this fragrance, because it could be worth a lot of money just to have that bottle. Now, pricing. To purchase a bottle of this stuff, it's going to be pricey. These city exclusives aren't cheap, guys, and that's going to be one factor in these sample series. You're going to see a lot of me going, it's not worth the dough. This one you're going to get either 50 mil or 100 mil of this stuff. You're looking at around $290 for the small guy and $440 for 100 mil. So pricey stuff, these city exclusives, I ain't joking. Now, aldehyde. If you're not too sure what aldehydes are, aldehydic fragrances usually are pretty clean to me. Sometimes they're kind of bright and fizzy, think like champagne-like, floral. It kind of makes me picture the whiteness, almost soapy, metallic sometimes. Never was a huge fan of aldehydic fragrances, to be honest with you guys. Even though I do respect the note and what it did in the history of fragrances, specifically in the women's side. I believe Chanel's number 5 has aldehydes in it. Chanel number 22 has aldehydes in it. Sometimes aldehydes will make people think of their grandma just because they are wearing those type of fragrances, or old lady-ish. So aldehydes do have that kind of vibe to the wearer, depending on your history with it. Now on to the meat and potatoes of my Samplin Samples videos, of course. My impressions of the actual scent itself on Le Labo's Aldehyde 44. Now this fragrance didn't really surprise me that much when I sniffed it on my skin. It felt like most aldehydic fragrances. It's clean, it's fresh, it's almost soapy and powdery in a way. Creamy. I really felt like the vanilla gave it a creaminess in this fragrance. Now, right off the bat, what do I feel when I sniff this fragrance? We're gonna go old school here. Remember those white bar of soaps? I know a lot of places now just have like pump soaps and stuff like that, but go back to that bar of white soap that you clean your hands with. After you sniff your hands, they're fresh, they're clean, and kind of like clean skin type feel. Like this is what this fragrance kind of smelled like. Lots of aldehydes, lots of white musk in this fragrance. That's a signature of Le Labo. You're going to see a lot of musk in all their fragrances in the base of their fragrances. There's ambrette in here. There's some florals, of course the jasmine, the tuberose, and there's neroli in here also with some vanilla. The aldehydes here in this fragrance in the top kind of gives you like a fizzy or bubbly feel. Think champagne. Aldehydes do that sometimes. Some people kind of think of citruses, because citruses kind of gives you that, you know, that pop and when you first smell a fragrance. This one, yeah, think champagne. Maybe not fizzy or bubbly, but maybe like sparkling. Yeah, sparkling's actually a good way, like a sparkling feeling. This intro kind of reminded me of another Le Labo scent that I actually own a bottle of, another 13. Now another 13 of course is surrounded by the note of ambrette, which is actually in this fragrance also. So it's no surprise that they are close cousins, I would say. Now once it dries down, not much changes. This fragrance, the musk come up quite a bit in the dry down, and some of the soft woods kind of give it some backbone. Like many Le Labos with the name, aldehydes are always in the fragrance but never really took full control of the fragrance. Always sharing with the other notes, and I find that with Le Labo fragrances, that's kind of the gist of it. You know, there's that main note like Rose 31. Rose is always there and you can always smell it, but it's always sharing the fragrance with this supporting role note. So really blended well. I really like how Le Labo does this with their fragrances. So always interesting to see that with Le Labo fragrances. This is a very soft fragrance, guys. Unisex, in my opinion, perhaps more on the women's side of things. Perfect for the spring coming up. There's neroli in here, there's a lot of florals, and that's perfect. Really a skin scent to me, very soft, and kind of soft like a white cloud. It just reminds me of soft, fluffy cloud, and it just makes me remind me when I'm smelling this fragrance, white florals, really soft, and yeah. Now the staying power on Aldehyde 44. Now the staying power on this is actually solid. Kind of reminded me of those clean Pradas that are out there. Infusion d'Homme, more Infusion d'Homme than Prada Amber Put On. Really reminded me of that, just because it's clean and they go strong. This one, 5 to 7 hours, any given wearing, really solid. a good scent cloud. I wouldn't say this is beast mode at all, but good staying power and a good scent cloud. So solid for the actual projection and longevity on this fragrance. Final take on Aldehyde 44. I'm gonna let this one discontinue itself. Even after this sniff, I was considering pulling the trigger just because when these fragrances get discontinued, you kind of go crazy. And I think it's just the fear of not smelling this fragrance again. I think it's a solid scent as far as scent goes, but it never really wowed me. Aldehydes are really not my favorite, and they're not really my cup of tea. And if it was not being discontinued, I probably wouldn't give this a second chance. To be honest, this is going to be a pass for me, and I call it overpriced. I really don't think this is one of the best from the city exclusives. And I know there's a lot of fans out there for this one, but it's a no-go for me, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed the Double S series Samplin Samples. Give me your take on Aldehyde 44 if you've smelled it before. Let me know of the new series in the comments below also if you're enjoying these. Thanks for watching, boys.